Good morning, everybody. I hope you are having a fantastic week. Hope you had a great weekend. Oh, it's been hectic, hasn't it? It's just been crazy. We're coming into spring. It's getting hotter, which is a great thing. And then we get a little bit lighter. And then we have that fantastic universal brain fart called daylight savings time, which obviously we're well aware. I think it originated during the wars because the farmers needed more light to plough and reap the crops. But it really screws with my brain. 1 hour, that's it. I mean, when you're flying and you've got 5 hours time difference, you prepare for some kind of jet lag. But it's amazing just how much 60 minutes will mess with a human being. But I hope you guys are doing well. Today we are in the Vales of the Anduin. The Great River of the Wilderland. This game, Lord of the Rings Online, it's really tough for me to kind of like keep track of sometimes because obviously I'm very familiar with the books. I'm sure most of you guys are, and it's really weird. You expect it to go a certain way, like you're heading south for the Grey Company. You get into Dunland, you're working your way through Dunland, you make contact with the Rohirrim. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to fight in the Battle of the Fords of the Eisen. So you do that, and then you think, well, I've got to be going to Rohan now. No, I get a telegram from Galadriel to go to Lothlorien, and then she sends me from Lothlorien to the Vales of the Anduin. So now I'm in the Brownlands. It's so confusing. But yeah, we're getting there. But this one's going to be a very confusing quest we're going to be doing today. Book 6, Chapter 11. I have no idea. I've had to Google it, and even now I'm still confused. And Arella, how are you doing? Well, good, lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. I haven't seen you for a while. It's always lovely when you pop into the stream. It's really nice to catch up with you. And nice to see you, Henry, as well. Lovely to see you, mate. I'm sad that you've been a bit busy with adulting stuff, but lovely to have you back. And Arella says, oh, yes, we finally have lovely spring flowers covering parts of the lawn. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's just nice to have something other than rain and grey. I did exit Moria last night, and then we get so. Oh, get used to it, Annarella. You'll get used to that. Every single time you think you get out of Moria, they drag you back. They just drag you back. Now, this is a very strange quest. This is a whole book quest, and we're trying to find what happened to the Nazgul that was shot down. Well, shot down by Legolas as he flew over the River Anduin. Now, I've been told that that the person who does this quest, or starts me on this quest, is a guy called Gamal. Now, I found him in the Brownlands before the stream, and he wasn't offering me a quest. So, oh, hello, Crunch. So we are now literally running around the Vales of the Anduin, trying to find out. Aha. Right, okay. Oh, Mr. Worm, please. Have you no decency? Right, so I'm hoping that this will set us up for the rest of the stream, because I want to clear chapter 11. I'm so ready to get to Lothlorien, and it's my second time doing it. You need to continue level more characters, but oh dear, it's tough, Anna. It really is. I can't think of anything I want to do less at the moment than level another character, because although I love this game and I think it's amazing, it's like having to do the same things over and over again. It's still too fresh in my mind, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm quite happy being a hunter for a good while, until at least I get the main part of the story out of the way. But yeah, you're right. I haven't got time to do it as well. So hopefully this is going to sort us out for the rest of the time. Rest of the yeah, it's been one of those weeks already. The rest of the stream, we're hopefully going to finish this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I cannot seem to clear my head.
Elfing shakes his head as if to try and clear it of cobwebs. He squints at you blearily. Where am I? I saw something, and then Elfang tries to focus on your face. He finally manages it, and he takes a deep breath. It was dark, and I could not see far into the night, but I saw a figure in the darkness. I thought it was one of my men to return from a patrol from Ellesmead, but it was, well, it rather hissed at me. I approached and demanded that the stranger identify itself, but then everything went black, and I fell down, and only now have I come back to my senses. The shape came from the northwest, I think, atop the rising slope. You can look for it there if you like. I will stay here. I'm still not right, I fear. Ah, the black breath. Oh, I'll just catch up with chat. Sorry about that. Anna says, yes, you deleted all your characters on Glamdring and started totally fresh and all, Chris. So that is a lot. Oh, I can totally understand the idea of a total reset. I've kind of done it on this because I've got all my characters on Meriadoc, but I stream on Peregrine, and since I only play when I stream, I've kind of abandoned Meriadoc. But I love the game, but it's just so you need to have a lot more time. My advice for anyone starting this game today is it is a really good game, but do not rush to go crazy. Do not rush to go mad, because there's plenty for you to do, and you don't need to rush. In actual fact, it will be detrimental for you to rush. I need it 2 out of 3 in my chemistry. They're already mean. That's very unlike Lord of the Rings Online. But then again, Glamdring is a bit more like normal gaming servers, and I don't mean any disrespect to those of my brethren who are on Glamdring, but I've got one character on Glamdring, and it's the one server I go on for. There's usually streamer events on there, and I don't play on there because I prefer the role-playing servers. But I found its general chat to be, how can I put it, more akin to World of Warcraft and stuff like that, but not as you know, not that bad. I'm terribly sorry to hear that. I've only ever had that in Warcraft, where I've joined a kin and it's just turned out that I've joined an absolutely kind of toxic guild, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll be G quitting then, because this place scares me. Wow, you didn't clash. Since I'm in Sweden, to be on the yeah, I mean, I don't mind playing on. Oh, hello, Booted Footprint. I don't mind. I'm obviously over on the eastern side of the pond. I don't mind playing on either server. It's just it depends on who you're playing with, I suppose. And as I tend to play on my Jack, I'm a member of a guild on Meriadoc, but they're a very old guild. I've only joined them in the last year, and I haven't had a chance to really play much with them. But yeah, so I tend to just play anywhere really, because I do my own thing. Yeah, there are more. Yeah, I mean there are more people on the European servers. I mean, I must admit, even though I play, what is it? It's 19 minutes past 5 on this server, but you still see people running around, which is pretty cool. But yeah, if I went on to oh, are you kidding me? Go away, Mr. Hound. If I went on to Meriadoc, it would be a lot more busier, but... Oh, look. Do you reckon this Nazgul's been running around, like, terrorising everybody he could get his teeth into? Because everybody seems to be suffering from the Black Breath.
You found a booted footprint? I wonder what it means.
Can I tell you who it... Can you tell who it was that attacked me? I've got a pretty good idea. You try to console Elfing and assure him that he is in no more danger, but you have a few words of comfort. You know that what it is that befell him. Elfing ran afoul of the Nazgul, succumbing to the Black Breath, the stench of death and foul instrument of the Nine. He is fortunate the creature must have been hurried for some unknown reason, for it would have certainly have killed. He was lucky, but your fortune seems poor. The whereabouts of the Nazgul remain unknown to you. Ooh. Very sexy. Right. Where are we heading to now? Because this is a really... Look at all these flashing bits. Now, I've done my bit with him, but he still remains as a flashing ring. So we're going to go to the nearest one and just work our way from there. And hopefully we will crack the mystery of the missing Nazgul. But yeah, we've been... I've been mucking around with stream times recently. I'm trying to find a stream time that will help me, or not help me, but be more kind of suitable for everybody who comes in, and also me. So I've tried to make it longer, make it shorter, change it to nights, but at the moment I'm sticking with this particular slot. I'll try not to piss you guys around anymore, because I'm very thankful for you. But yeah, I'll try and stick to the 11 till 1 slot. Well, the 11 till 1 slot this time, but... Oh, come on, I'm not too far away from him.
I have always prided
That's
myself
very
on
nice.
courage. But last night...
No worries. We used to call that Pinks in my Warcraft guild, because we had a lady in our guild, a lovely lady, love her to bits. I've met her in real life many, many times. She played a character called Pinky, who was a gnome warlock, and she used to get the wrong channels. And we used to call it Youth Pinks, which I think is really cool. We had our own little guild, like, kind of vocabulary. I'll move that over here, actually. No, I'll keep it over here because it'll be easier for me to read it. I should not be out here. I wanted to be a farmer, but my father said I should follow my older brothers, and, well, here I am. And last night, well, I cannot explain it. Something spooked the goats, and I climbed up the ridge to investigate, and that's when I heard it. Ooh. Something was, how can I describe it? It was sniffing sound, like someone with a cold, but there was something about the sniffling sound that made my blood run cold. And as I approached the milling goats, I saw that I was not the only one disturbed by the sound. The eyes of the goats were wild. They stamped the ground, desperate to get away from something. Something moved among them, low to the ground. It made no sound but the snuffling, as if it was smelling for something. I ran, and I feel as if my heart has only now calmed itself. If you decide to visit the goats at the enclosures to the north and to the southwest, use caution. That thing might come back. Ooh. Oh, good. No, I'm glad keeping you company at work. And I totally understand if you guys are lurking away because you've got me on in the background. It's more like a radio show. Right, so we got to go and visit the goat pens and search for any evidence of what frightened them. And the quest is called the Sniffing Snuffler. Okay, let's go and visit the goat pens to the south. Warlocks, I grew to love them actually. I never really got one above 40th level. I did enjoy playing a warlock, especially when WoW Classic came out. Oh, here's the goats. Wild Hill Goat. Is this it? Yep, this would look like it was it. You see nothing unusual. Whatever it was must have gone. Well, I'd like to think so. Oh, hello. And now we're going to head north. Now we're going to go and check out the other goat pen. And I've got spiders chasing me now. For those of you who weren't around, Thursdays now, my kind of variety game. Who fired at me? Oh, he did. Okay. Unleash. on Thursday now. We finished Red Dead Redemption. It was a bit cheeky of me though. Oh, hello. I got stunned by a goat. I finished Red Dead Redemption, which was amazing. That was really, really cool to actually finish the game. But I did it cheekily. I kind of came on a Monday, last Monday, and did a bit of a 2-hour stream because I thought I've got enough game to last like 2 hours, but not for a full 3-hour stream. It was really, really good. A bit confusing at the end, Anna, and I'll tell you how. You continue with your quests. You finish doing all your dirty work for the government, and then they send you back, and it's kind of like, okay, I'm going back now to my home. So you return and you meet your wife and your boy and uncle. Obviously, if you've played Red Dead Redemption 2, you'll know about those as well. But and you do like weird just farm quests. You go back to Bonnie McFarlane. You buy some cattle. You round up the cattle. You protect it from rustlers and literally you're shooting crows and doing farmyard stuff. And then suddenly you're attacked by the government. You take out literally you must kill about like 70 troops. And then you manage to get your wife and child on the back of the horse. You send them away to freedom. And then you open. You couldn't finish after the doctor saying, "Oh, yeah, he's a bit weird." But once you get rid of him, but you then you go out and you're faced with all the guys, the FBI agents who set you up, or they weren't even the FBI then; they were just bureau agents, and all these people, and they kill you. And then you obviously go through the aftermath and the cutscenes. You ride back with his wife and his son, and then it fast forwards 4 years, and you've got his son as a grown man, and both his parents are dead, and you're literally just in the world, and there's no hint as to what you can do. You can do all the games, all the in-games, and I thought, well, that's quite cool. But I found out that there are some like stranger quests, and there's one called Remember My Family, and it starts in Blackwater, and if you go there, you could then continue it's a really long quest, but it's a lot of riding, a lot of really boring riding. But you find out, you track down the FBI agent who set your dad up, and you kill him in a duel, and then it's roll credits. Job done. I'm really, really pleased I finished it. Although I can totally understand why you would bail out, because the doctor is a freak.
Imagined it.
Oh, you'll love that final quest then. You will love that final quest because it is nothing. You ride from Blackwater to the Mexican border. Then you go across the Mexican border and literally you're so deep in Mexico. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, you'll love that. It took me forever to do it. But now I've started doing Watch Dogs 2. I'm doing a playthrough of Watch Dogs 2 on Thursdays. I've got some unique redeems for the Watch Dogs 2. Like I've got unique redeems for the Lotro streams. And it's one of my favourite games ever. So if you love Lotro and you prefer that kind of game, and you want to sit out the Watch Dogs, I totally get it, absolutely understand. But if you want a bit of a giggle, come on Thursdays and watch Watch Dogs 2 because it is amazing. I forgot how amazing that game is. You're an old horse girl, and so I play it as a horse game. I get that. In that case, Red Dead Redemption 2 must really appeal to you because you've got that extra mechanics. You've really got to look after your horse. Yeah, you've got all the different kind of stamina and stuff like that. It's not as basic as Red Dead Redemption 1. But anyway, I digress. Back to the drama. I suppose I may have imagined it. You didn't see anything there, just goats. You know what Magla saw, but the man is frightened enough without knowing the identity of the creature that sniffed so near to him that night, Nazgul. He is slowly becoming calm. He is still shaken by the experience. I am not cut out for this sort of thing, Merigrim. My brothers are bold and courageous, and would certainly have not been as frightened. And my sister, she's a handmaiden at the Golden Hall in Adoras. She would have marched right up to that, whatever it was, and given it a tongue lashing it would not forget. Not like me. Ah, well, I am one who is here, doing my best, and I hope my father and brothers and sisters are proud, or will be. Thank you again, my friend. Awesome. Right, that's one done. So we have to complete all these quests to do the deed. To do the deed. Right, and now we're going to head straight across. Because I've done this one, so... But he's still showing up as a quest. Which is one of my little kind of... I just don't... It's one of my little criticisms of Lotro. If you're going to give me a quest, please show a quest that I can hand in. Or at least I need to speak to someone. Right, we've got some ads coming up in about 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and wild ones of all ages. So if you partake, I will see you in a little while. And if you don't, I'm terribly sorry, but you are stuck with me for the next minute and a half. So hopefully we can discover the secrets of the vales of the Anduin River together. What are you doing here? You're not on my list. Okay, well this looks decidedly orcish. I'll try and go around them. Not that I want to, like, piss them off, but there we go. And we're coming down to the river. The Vales of the Anduin. Right. Should be coming up on it soon. There we go.
I saw something on the shore, but when I approached it fled.
It was as dark as pitch in the cold watches of the night. I walked upon the shore of Anduin. I thought I saw... No, I did see a darker patch of shadow in the space between the trees. When I approached it fled. It moved with a lurching step, sliding low upon the ground, but it moved quickly, and for some reason I cannot explain, but I was loath to close the distance, and I lost it in the dark. But I know the name of this apparition. Limthea looks from side to side, and then speaks with a voice barely above a whisper. Its name is Nazgul. Bring word to Thimloth at Haldreth that one of these fell creatures is on the loose somewhere in Thinglad. Ooh. Right, where's the... Now I've got another quest to go and do. Right, got to go up here now. Give me my horse. I'll just follow the path up. I think it's further than I thought it was. It is definitely further than I thought it was, but hopefully there will be an obvious sign that the path will break off. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep on going until I'm at Lothlorien. That will be the sign that we need to turn back. But hopefully we'll get there. Oh, thanks. No, I hope you do get to drop by. Anna, it'd be lovely to see you. Your brother told me to buy it with one in the sentence. It's a horse girl sim. It's pretty much it is, Richie. Grand Theft Horse. Right, here we go. Who have I got to speak to? Thimloth with your flaming ring. I'm sure you can get a cream for that.
Are you sure? I'm Nazgul?
Thimloth stares into the distance for a time, deep in thought, then she shakes her head and turns back to you. This is disturbing news, Merigrim, but I believe a single one of the 9 cannot endanger Lothlorien, not while Lady Galadriel retains her power. And she does. You need not worry on that account. All of the 9 together would pose a more serious threat, but Our Lady still governs and her power still keeps the borders of Lorien safe. Thank you for these tidings from Limlia. But it seems to me this Nazgul poses more of a danger to the men south of here than the elves of the north of here in the Golden Wood. Very, very true. Right, now I am here, and I've done that one, done that one, done that one. I need to go down to Path Celebrant. There might be a quicker way. I could get a Pony Express down there. Path Celebrant, indeed I can. Ooh. Let's have a look at my inventory. I've still got a load of crap. I've sorted out my inventory, and I'm still absolutely like covered in crap. Here we go. Here's a man with a flaming ring. Surdic.
After you left,
very unfortunate name.
On my own, and well,
Merigrin, you have returned. I was just thinking about you and wondering if you ever found what it was that you were seeking after you left. I went searching on my own and, well, Surdic is having some trouble meeting your eyes. I am not a coward, Merigrin. I have stood unblinking before shrieking masses of goblins and not given way before a charging warband of the Kundalar Easterlings, and I have even stood my ground when my wife is in one of her tempers. Well, mostly stood my ground. But at certain sights on the battlefield my courage was quite drained away. I felt uneasy, and everything seemed to get cold. Will you go to some of these sites? I will mark them for you on your map. Look at the rubble in the crumbling corners of Celebrant, a grassy ledge overlooking the fast-flowing river, by one of the stone bridges over by the river. I want to know what is happening out there, Merigrin, and I am ashamed to have felt that way. There must have been a reason. Very true. So I need to examine the debris at the crumbling corner of Celebrant, examine the debris at the grassy place overlooking the fast-flowing river, and examine the debris by the stone bridge. Well, let us be about it. Right, so now we need to make sure our way there. Right, we're heading in a general direction, aren't we? Grassy plains here. Lots of brigands, undead, wolves, orcs. It's it's not exactly what I expected from the Anduin Vales. Yeah, I think I'm heading for the giant Numenorian ruins. Oh, hello. Can I bind myself at your campsite? Yes, I can. Well, thank you, kind sir. Right, this looks quite impressive, doesn't it? Very Numenorian. It looks as if our first point of call is going to be this big freaking stone bridge. Oh, get up. Ah, right, you didn't tell me that it was filled with the restless spirits of the dead. Oh dear, this is going to be a bit. They're not that hard, it's just they do have kind of like a lot of debuffs. If you get too close to them. So, sorry boys, no tongues today. What the hell are you doing here? You're not an undead, you are you're orcs, or half orcs and nasty brigands. Gondorian traitor. Well, I did not expect to be doing this. I didn't realise that this would be so savagely held against me. I'm going to try and get around without having to aggro the whole lot of them. Otherwise we'll be here all night. Kino, how you doing, buddy? Welcome in, Raiders. Oh dear, you've come at a really fantastic time. I'm getting my arse handed to me by a group of restless undead. But welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I'll just give Kino a bit of a shout out. 2 seconds. Welcome in, guys. What were you guys up to today? I saw you were streaming it, but when I got up at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
The tie knot. Can I put it down here?
Yep.
Last seen playing Folklore.
It's wet, so at least it'll be easy to put it in. Alright.
Okay, James. Okay, James. Jesus fucking Christ. This is fucking children. We're children's, okay?
I have never heard of Folklore. But welcome on in, Raiders. If you don't know me, I'm Talath, or you can call me Steph. I stream Lotro, Lord of the Rings Online on Tuesdays, and we do a lot of... I'm better at the lore of J.R.R. Tolkien than I am actually playing the game. And also on Thursdays, I'm currently doing a playthrough of Watch Dogs 2. We just finished Red Dead Redemption 1, and I stream randomly whenever I can. Oh, bless them. Well, you guys on the East Coast, boys, it's nearly 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm always quite shocked, actually, Kino, that most of my viewers, when I look at the review of the stream, I've always got a lot more viewers from the States, like 20% more viewers from the States. And I'm thinking I've either got like a group of East Coast insomniacs or a group of people, late night owls from the West Coast. Oh yeah, right, yeah. I've only ever been to Seattle's as far as I've got on the West Coast. I never got any further south. Unfortunately, Amtrak wasn't running when I was over there doing my grand tour. But yeah, it's good to have you. Thanks for the raid, buddy. I really appreciate it. If anyone hasn't followed Kino, give him some love. We need more love in the world, people. Unfortunately, I can't because I've got my little boy and I'm quite domesticated. You wouldn't think of it to look at me, but I'm quite domesticated. So I have to be a good boy and try and stream in mutually acceptable times. But yeah, if I was single, I'd be all over the place. Seattle checking in for him. Give my regards to the Space Needle. I had a great time. I mean, it was over 20 years ago when I was like 19. When was it? No, 2009. I was last in Seattle, and obviously being a big grunge fan, I had a lot of places I wanted to go. Folklore is neat. I'll have to check it out. Oh, it's in Ireland. Oh, I definitely love it then, because that's my source. I will check that out. I will definitely check that out. I haven't found a single one of these bloody sites yet. I'm supposed to be investigating 3 sites where this Nazgul could have possibly shown up. And so far, all I've got is indigestion. Mark location. There we go. We've got our first one. I will definitely have to check that one out. However, it will just probably end up another game on my computer that I don't play, I haven't played, and I'm moaning that I've got too many games and not enough time to play them in. Yeah, no worries, dude. You go and you take a load off and enjoy yourself. Go and grab yourself some food. Thanks for the raid, and it's great to see you. And you're all very welcome here. I hope you can chill out and drift off to blissful Morpheus's arms to the sound of my Hobbit's bowstring. I've got to find this other one. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? We're going... I'll take out these guys. I don't know. There's no... See, that pattern on the floor suggested there was a doorway there, but there is no doorway. and that doesn't look a safe bet, does it? Right, let's go. Let's go back out the way we came. Okay, right, let's check the map. Where are we going? Right, we need to head that way towards that bridge. And it is that little spindly bridge, isn't it? If those of you who don't know, we're trying to do Book 6, Chapter... Oh, hello, something sparkly. We're trying to do Book 6, Chapter 11, which is the Nazgul. If you remember, in the latter stages of the Fellowship of the Ring, the Fellowship are in boats on the River Anduin. And that dark shadow flies over them and fills them all with dread. But Legolas says, screw you. And he launches the bow of Lothlorien and shoots this thing that crashes on the eastern side of the Anduin. And we find out that it was actually a Nazgul. I've found the fell beast that's dead. Now I'm kind of trying to find out where the Nazgul has gone or what's happened. And I've run into a few Rohirrim who have been scared shitless because they've run into this Nazgul, it's hissed at them, they've got the black breath and they've collapsed. And I've run into one of the elves who thought they'd detected it as well. What the heck is this? Why is this sparkling? Oh, I'm not getting anything from it. It is, I reckon, I was very impressed. I was actually very impressed with it because it is kind of like a follow. Look, there's a bridge down there. And I need to get down there. But I can't get down there. I'm going to have to take my chances, aren't I? I need to get down to that bridge to investigate. It does have moments of genius like that. Here we go. Right, I've got to go. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go back up there and look for the third item. Here's the marked location. What have we got here? You feel nothing unusual by the bridge. Your prey did not travel this way. You're referring to a Nazgul as prey. It's just a little bit weird, isn't it? Considering he would eat me for breakfast. So yes, my prey. Right, we're gonna have to go back in through the front door. My quarry. That would be better. That would be a better synonym. Prey. Yes, the brave hobbit. That's crazy. Right, we're going back in. We've got to try and track down the third item. Oh, they've all respawned. Oh, you son of a... Okay, right, what we got? I don't want expert, no. I don't want that. Have I got any charms? Have I got any chance? Have I got any bow chance? Tome of Veteran Offence. How long's that? 6 hours? Yeah, we'll have a bit of that. Yeah, we're going to go just because I'm just going to end up killing loads and loads of things, so I'll need a little bit of extra firepower. And I got loads of these things in my bank and I never use them, so I might as well use them. And kick ass! Mother of... Right. I don't want to have to kill them all. Not because I'm like some kind of big humanitarian, but because it's going to take too long. Gondorian traitor, well you can get some. Right. I should be right on top of it. Ah, it's in there. No wonder I missed it. Protected by two cloaked hillbillies. Right, come on. Mark location, right, let's have a look. Loose stones crunch underfoot, but you do not feel anything out of the ordinary. Right, where have we got to go back to Surdik now? I tell you what, why am I bothering? I did bind myself to that campfire, didn't I? Right, off we go. I will be getting on for a little bit of a stream tomorrow, hopefully. Months ago, when I came back to streaming, I've kind of made contact with a lot of people in the Lord of the Rings community, because you kind of like, because it's such a small little community, you kind of get to know streamers. And Ganterin, who I'm sure all of you know, lovely bloke from New Zealand, and he and me, we always used to like stream roughly at the same time, so we like I'd raid into him, he'd raid into me, and then obviously our situations changed, and I barely see the man anymore because he's streaming at times when I'm not, and likewise. So we decided to have a cat. I messaged him the other week and said, you know, why don't we get together and just have a bit of fun? So we're going to be playing Peak tomorrow, which I've never played. Well, I tell a lie, I gave it a 10-minute shot yesterday.
Did you experience anything?
Or the day before yesterday, and it was just insane. So it's just going to be 2 hours of falling great distances and hurting ourselves, but it should be great fun. Did you experience anything strange while you explored the sites? Do you recount what you saw at the locations and Serdic pointed out, and he seems to be quite relieved? It was not all in my head then. Good, Merigrim. Thank you for setting my mind at ease. What was instilled in me, such uncommon fear, has moved on. But it is good to see that it had an effect on those sites. I knew I was no coward. The word Nazgul dances at the forefront of your mind. Serdic knew the truth of what came so near to him. He would not be ashamed by the fear that filled him. Yeah, of course, because we're talking about one of the most terrifying creatures in all of Middle-earth at the moment. Right, where are we going now? We are here. We've dealt with that one. I've dealt with those three, so we are heading to the bogs. We're heading to the bogs. Rushgore Bog. And I found out about 2 months ago that you cannot swim the Anduin. I was in Southern Mirkwood, and if you're doing Southern Mirkwood, you're working your ways towards Dol Guldur, and you kind of flip between there and Lothlorien a few times. And I decided it would be great fun to swim from Lothlorien to Mirkwood, but it wouldn't let me. I got halfway across and then I just died of fatigue. So I'm like, okay, going to be like that, is it? You let me swim across Lake Evendim so far that, you know, I might as well develop web feet and gills, but halfway across the Anduin River is too much. I am just totally raw dogging this. I'm just riding aimlessly through the bogs. I can't see where I'm going. Oh look, there's the Circle of Shame, as I call it. I found a camp. Right, who's got the flaming ring? He has, right. Ed Britt.
Something has made the Gredbig here more aggressive than they used to be.
You defeated some of them before we went to the Brown Lands. Did you notice anything unusual about them? Well, I have. On my way back from the carcass of the beast, I was set upon by a group of Gredbeg. I fought them off, but I noticed something peculiar. As they lay twitching beneath my sword strokes, their blood seemed to boil like water over a rolling flame. This is the cause of their newfound... Is this the cause of their newfound aggressiveness? I want you to defeat Gredbeg and collect samples of their blood. See if the blood boils and bubbles. What could have caused this? I don't know, but we're going to go and collect some bloods. Kixels, good morning, Kixels. If anyone doesn't know Kixels, You should do. Kixel's an awesome variety streamer and a amazing human being. Please give her a follow and pop into a stream. My shirt. That's what I'm talking about. I thought I'd get. I've got a t-shirt now. I've got an outfit for every stream I do now. I'm getting really sad, aren't I? I've got my DeadSec outfit. I've got my channel logo t-shirt that my little boy got me for Christmas, bless him. And then I've got my Tolkien t-shirt. So, right. For a minute, I thought that guy's name was Anal, but it's Amal. I need to change my pixelation on my monitor. But no, you're very welcome. You're very welcome for the shout out, and it's lovely to see you, Kixels. Lovely to see you. And now we're going to go out and kill some weird bog monsters. I'm a hunter. I should be tracking. Grodbod work. Oh, straight across. It's just like being back in the Shire. The Grodbod blood is boiling hot to the touch. Who are you? Oh, you're a weird Easterling. Okay, yeah, okay, I've got that's what I'm talking about. For the last few weeks, I've done a little lore segment on this channel because people were asking for more lore, and I've got a redeem, which I've still got. It's brilliant. Enjoy washing your hair, Kixels. We'll see you in a bit. So people were asking me for more lore, so I thought, okay then, I'll do more lore. So I started doing a pre-recorded little bit to camera, and I thought it would be actually good because it's better than just putting on your "Be Right Back" screen and disappearing for like 10 minutes. But they're getting too big. They're getting too big. So what I'm going to do is today's one is 22 minutes long, and I'm going to play it, and it will probably be the last one I do on the stream, but I'm going to be doing more, but I'm putting them on the YouTube account, which I know it's a bit silly considering I want to try and streamline what I'm doing. I don't want to, this isn't a full-time job, this is a nice little hobby. I get to meet you guys and hang out. But today's Lore of the Rings segment is going to be about Breland. Now, as I said before, if you want to know more about lore, if you want to learn more about lore from me, feel free to spend 700 points and I will gladly tell you everything I know. Enjoy my little films. They're great. They're just little fun things to do. But if you really want to learn about lore, I would say go and look at like Robert from In Deep Geek or The Realms Unraveled. They're quite cool. They go much deeper into it than me. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. But yeah, today I'll probably be doing it halfway through. It's 20 minutes long. I mean, that's. I think I'd argue that I'm no longer streaming. I'm just providing like an infomercial. Yeah, Robert from Indie Geek, he's got a very a posh English accent, but he's a very knowledgeable chap. I think that's the right terminology. And he does long dives and speculates a lot, whereas I'm more kind of like, I enjoy watching his stuff, but I'm more kind of like not factual, but I just stick to what Tolkien wrote, and then I try and weave it in with a bit of literacy, little bit of literacy. Isn't that right, Keith? Right. Have I got all of them? Yeah, I have. I've got them all. Let's go back. I'm not pissing around killing anymore. Who's growling? Or is that my stomach? I don't... Yeah, look, being a hobbit is terrible. Look, this is the first person view you get as a hobbit. I'm only Ickle. Right, let's see what he has to say.
Interesting. Seems that whatever caused this blood to boil has moved on.
As time went on, the blood you collected ceased to boil. Interesting. It seems whatever caused the blood to boil has moved on. What type of creature could have this effect on Gredbeg? Whatever it is, it may be its presence alone was enough to make the blood of the Gredbeg boil and bubble. But when it moved on, the blood gradually ceased to boil. What evil is this, that its mere presence can so enrage creatures of nature? You do not answer, Ebret, but the word Nazgul is on your tongue. And so it should be. Right, we've got some ads coming up in the next 30... oh, hello. We've got ads coming up in the next 30 seconds, so if you partake, I will see you after the ads. And if you don't partake, then you're stuck with me. I'm sorry about that. We'll see you back. Right, we've got to go and speak to Nona. In that case, I think we might have actually done chapter 11. And it's only taken us an hour. It's a miracle. Right, let's go to Nona and see what she has to say. Right, she should be... Nona, for those of you unfamiliar with the story, is a Dunlending woman who is the daughter of a chieftain of one of the Dunlending tribes. She's no friend of the Rohirrim, but she's not a bad one by the long stretch of imagination. But her brother Wadu was killed, and for some strange reason he was in possession of a sword of the Rohirrim. And she's been helping me. She's been doing all kinds of things around Dunland. That's very confusing. I thought he was going to come after me, but the grog bog seems to have stopped. The Blue Cast Salt Brotherhood of the Mind? Or is he walking out into the river? Right, let's have a little bit of hope on the subject. Right, where are we going? Oh, we are going deep into the Brownlands. See, this is what I don't understand. This is supposed to be the Great River, but I've just crossed it on foot. I don't understand why this area... the Anduin's the Great River, and this is further down than Lothlorien. So how the hell did the Fellowship get through here on boats? And it's not Sangeber, it's not at the rapids yet, so I don't understand it. Where are you? Oh no, she's not here. She is literally deep, deep, deep in enemy territory. Right, off we go. And the way they've described it, these guys here, the Kundalars, they are apparently the descendants of the tribe of Easterlings that fought with Gondor and the Aeol, the young Red South, to aid Gondor in the Battle of Celebrant. And that's the battlefield we're we're in the Brownlands now, but across the river. And these guys are the descendants. They never went back into the east. What remained of them? They decided to settle here. There's Nona. Oh dear, yep. Here's the fell beast. I felt my dread creep up. Right, what we got then, Nona?
We have learned much of this creature, but not what we need to know.
Where has its rider gone, and what cruel fate has kept us a step behind it at every turn? I don't know, Nona.
She was looking for something. We need to think.
This rider, what was the word you used? Nazgul. The creature was looking for something. We need to think. It brought us on a chase through these lands, but I cannot tell what it sought, or if it found what it desired. We have no choice but to return to the village of the Horse Lords. I will wait outside while you speak with that man Horn. We are strangers in this land. He is not. He may know of a place we have not yet searched. Okay, so we've got an instance quest. Right, okay. Wow, God, look at the dread on that.
Let us talk on the way back to the village of the Horse Lords.
Indeed we will. Let's go.
Has no one seen our new friend? Or the Dunlending girl? I thought they would have returned to Stungard by now. Did some trouble befall them on the road?
Okay. So we are going to obviously run into some issues, judging by that voiceover. We have a long way to go. I want to start singing Jerry Reed songs now. We have a long way to go, Merigrin. As much as I wish we did not need refuge in the town of the Horse Lords, it seems that we must. We have lost the trail of this creature, this wraith of which you speak, and until we can learn where it has gone, we are only wasting time. It is frustrating to know our purpose and be unable to accomplish it. Come on in, Nona. Let's go. I have a bad feeling about this. And you're going to tell me a story to pass the time. Long ago there was a man named Frecker who lived among the Horse Lords. He was wealthy and strong, his hair was dark like that of his people, and he had Dunlendish blood, and he desired marriage match between son Wolf and the King of the Horse Lords. King Helm hated and refused his offer, insult and treachery. I can't keep up with your pace. Oh dear, well that's good, because we're about to get... have some of that. Of course there will be. Let's get off the main path. I think we should fight them on the path. Where you going, Nona? Keeping the clear. Oh, hello. I got dread. Yes, I did. Yeah, let's go up by, yeah. Lead the way then. Talk to Nona atop the rocky rise in Rushgore. Something is near Merigrin. It must be the wraith we have sought. It makes my blood run cold. Nona looks at you with wide eyes, and you are suddenly reminded that she has not had much experience with creatures of such evil. She puts her hand on the hilt of Wadu's sword, her sword, and her former fright is replaced by grim determination. We found it. Now what do we do with it? So that reminds me of Ghostbusters. Like, so what do we do? Where? Where? Oh, I see it. It's a wounded Nazgul. I can't attack him. Seriously got to take on a wounded Nazgul. Nona sword flashes with a bright light and the Nazgul flees from it. Oh wow. You've got a bit of a magic sword there. Can I kill him? Where's the other one run off to? Where's the Kundalor captain then? I can't see. He ran off. I was too busy. I don't usually stop to talk to the people I'm about to kill.
What is this world coming to?
She's got a very strange accent. I will not run from you. I am your better. My people have powerful friends, and I will show them how strong a man of Kundalar can be.
What do you need? Oh.
I'll show you how strong you can be, mate. Oh dear. I knew it was going to go wrong. Just like Aragorn. I knew I shouldn't have left her. Nona lies crumpled on the ground before you, soaking in the blood from a sword wound on her side. She struggles weakly to speak. Merigrin, are you? The effort is too great for her. She needs the aid of a healer if she is to survive the wound. In the back of your mind, one worrying question refuses to go away. From what blade did she take this wound? Did an Easterling blade cause this injury? Or was it the blade of a Nazgul? You prepare yourself for the long journey back to Stangard with Nona. Ooh. I hope she doesn't die. I like it when we kind of meet with characters in this game and they kind of do form a bit of an attachment to us. What? So I just dumped her in the flowers. Merigrin, is everything all right? Nona's breathing is ragged and shallow, and the gash in her side still bleeds around the cloth which you tied to staunch it. When you brought her to Stangard, she was barely conscious. You found Horn near the entrance and begged for his people to tend Nona's hurts. He sought out the leader of Stangard to see what could be done, and he has not returned. I've got to wait for him. She was talking about one of her fables. Oh, dear me. Well, you can go off, Afik. You can... I did my best for you, Merigrin, but you're not going to be pleased. He did not understand why we should heal the hurts of this Dunlending girl. Eventually he relented somewhat and agreed that our healers do what they can for this girl. Okay, fair enough. There is a condition. Oh, there's always going to be a condition, isn't there? Our healer will see to the girl's wound, but she must... Oh... Oh dear. Do not let them. Nona struggles to speak, but the effort is too great for her to make out the words. She beseeches you with wide eyes, but you cannot meet her stare. Your gaze keeps returning to the blood soaking the floor beneath her. She tries again. Wadus it was. You cannot give the Rohirrim what they demand. There has to be another way to save her life. Oh dear, mate, it's getting a bit... Yep, she is stubborn. She could give King Theoden lessons in being headstrong. Right, come on in, Horn. There has to be some other way, Merigrin. You spoke of the elf witch. Oh, don't refer to Galadriel as a witch, or I will just cut you down with a hail of arrows. Elf witch in the woods north along Anduin. My people shun that place as a den of evil glamour. But if there was a power that could heal this girl... Horn glowers at you, his eyebrows knitted together angrily. A pox on her. I will not have her blood on my hands, or on my own lair. Lead us to this elf witch, Merigrin. So I'm taking these scumbags to Lothlorien. So they've let Horn the Crockfoot. What was it? The Gandalf sang in Dwymedine in Lorien. Seldom have walked the feet of men. Well, they seem to be letting them in en masse now. I will never call my people distrustful again, Merrigan. The blindfold felt somewhat unnecessary to me. Only the most urgent of need has driven me here, and I would not want to return. Horn's face softens, and his brow creases with worry. Do you think the girl will recover? I saw the way those elves looked at her wound. Whatever it is they saw, they did not like it. If it was not an Easterling blade, what does that mean for her? What is wrong, Merrigan? Well, basically, she's going to turn into a wraith. We've had this with Amdir. We've had it with Frodo. Ah, my lady. I have done what I can. The danger has passed, Merrigan. The wound was deep, but it did not fester. And yet, I did not wish to leave this girl to the care of my healers. The risk that the wound was caused by a Morgul blade, that she could become a wraith like the creature you encountered that night, compelled me to heal her hurts personally. If that had proven the case, I would have ended her suffering. It would have been a mercy, and necessary to the safeguarding of Lothlorien and indeed all lands. Do you think me cruel? I am glad it did not come to that. I do not believe her wound was caused by a Morgul blade, and it is my hope and belief that she will live. I am surprised. We will speak more of it later, away from watchful ears. The girl Nona is sleeping, and when she wakes, you will be brought to her. For now, you should rest, Merrigan. Dream no troubling dreams. In Lothlorien, your rest will be peaceful. I am certain of it. I've been here about 16 times now. You know, the Fellowship only got to come here once. What a relief. I can hardly believe I feared the worst. There is clearly some glamour on this land. I feel as if I could take on any foe and achieve victory, or cross any landscape no matter what the obstacles. Your elf witch works wonders. The only song could do justice to the powers of her healing. What a relief. The relief I feel is overwhelming, Merrigan. The girl will live. Unless it is rude to ask, I would like to return to the forest floor now, and I will return to Stangard by myself. But I would like to see you again once the girl is recovered. Bring her as well. I'm to compose a song of your adventure. I will need both of your accounts after all. Dear Lord.
Along the banks of the great river, you evaded a great evil, but not without cost. The girl Nona was brought before me, wounded and in pain. I did for her what I could, but her fate is not yet clear to me.
Well, there you go. We have another one of these. It's almost like Shadows of Angmar, where you've got the elf princess who's been corrupted by Sauron. It's very weird. The mists of the Anduin.
Journeyed far and have come very close to death and sadness.
And yet you still skirt the gravest danger and have come safely through the other side. I hope that our mutual friends fare as well. I told you earlier I had nothing to do with your dream, and this was true when you described your visions to me. I did not tell you everything. I suspected. It seemed clear to me that your paths must cross one of the 9. I believed the girl would die. Yet, unbelievably, she did not. Either through your own actions or hers, you both escaped the clutches of the Nazgul, and either through curious good fortune or powers unknown to me, our mutual friends seem to have outdistanced the pursuit. But there is no rest for we who worry for their safety. The Nazgul is not the last danger they will face. They and you are not free of evil's clutch just yet. Rest for a time, but not for long. There are plans to be made, Merrigan, and we will speak again soon. Ooh. I have a sexy mirror to put in my house now.
It is nearly time for you to depart again.
Well, there you go. Within the woods of Lorien, guests of Lord Celeborn can recover from their hurts and their toils of a long road. It is my hope this reprieve was of use to you, Merigrin. In these dark days, no time of rest is long as we might wish it to be. It is nearly time for you to depart again. With one motion of a lovely arm, Galadriel directs your gaze to the flats that cling to the bole of the tree. Nona has made a full recovery, as she could have, and a greater one than I expected of her, and she is waiting for you at the ladder down from those flats. I have made it known, as it is my will, that she will be permitted free movement within the hedges of Caras Galadhon. Show her the city. Woo! Of the Galadhrim Merigrin, and we will speak in my garden when she is satisfied with her explosion and the city, see what the city has to offer. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, Atea. What have you been up to? Lord of the Rings this morning, I think, haven't you? I'll just give you a little shout out. Atea is a wonderful streamer. He streams Lord of the Rings, and I've seen play Euro Truck Simulator.
Guys, you made him angry.
And it looks like Mafia. But welcome on in, Raiders. Welcome on in. Give Atea a follow. He's a lovely guy. Finally doing Umber. I haven't even got that far.
Что diavolo? What is
I am nowhere near there. I am just back in
This is so
Lothlorien,
stupid.
starting book 7.
What is he doing?
Chapter 1.
You're freaking
But
me.
welcome in, Raiders. My name's Talath. Some people call me Steph, and I stream Lord of the Rings online on Tolkien Tuesdays. That's what I'm talking about. And at the moment, I've just finished Red Dead Redemption 1, and I started doing Watch Dogs 2, which is one of my favourite games in all eternity, on a Thursday. And I do stream randomly whenever I get the chance. So welcome on in, grab yourself a drink, make yourself comfortable on the sofas. There's beer in the fridge, and I hope you enjoy yourself here. Welcome on in. Right, there we go. So we are... Where's the ladder? I'm going to get lost now in Lothlorien. Is she below me or but above me? Where is she? If she's not round here, is she? Yay. Oh, there she is. And there's a ladder, funnily enough. Yeah, we've just, for those of you just joining, we have been in the Great River. We have been at the point in the Fellowship of the Ring where the Fellowship are heading south on the River Anduin on their boats. And one night, the Nazgul, the Dark Shadow, comes over and fills everybody with fear. Legolas twangs the bow of Lorien and brings it down on the far side in the Brownlands, on the east side of the Anduin. And we have basically we've tracked down the Fell Beast, we've found the body of the Fell Beast, and we have just literally tracked down and confronted the Nazgul. It could have gone worse, I suppose. But we've kind of just tied up that loose end. And now I don't know where we're heading. But we're about to leave Lothlorien for like the 15th time.
They tell me I was close to death. I remember very little of it.
And your voice has dramatically changed from Scottish to English. I remember a creeping shadow as chill cold as ice, and her eyes narrow. The men of the town would not heal me unless I gave them my sword. But you spoke against it, and so did that man. What was his name? Horn? I should thank him for that kindness. Even though he is of the horse folk, we should not trust him too far. The lady of the elf woods have told me I could see her city before we departed, as if I were well enough. And I tell you I am. This place is a marvel, though my own people would not wish to live here. Bring me to some of the notable locations in this city, Merigrin, and we will have some time before we must depart. I am now giving a tourist shot. I've got to go to the White Fountain. I've got to go to Telaine Galadhrim and Telaine Melthin. Great. Go down the ladder. How do I get down? Oh, there we go. But yeah, so we're going to be... I've actually exceeded what I planned for the stream. To finish the previous book, you had to do a deed, which was basically track the Nazgul, and there was like 8 or 9 quests you had to do. And they're all disjointed all over the place. Right, where are we going? We've got to go... That's the nearest one. We're going to head over there. I keep on saying, I'm going to get to Rohan soon. I'm going to get to Rohan soon. And I never get to Rohan. Here is the fountain.
This is a place of quiet contemplation.
This is at Cullerlin, the White Fountain of Calas Galahon. It is a place for quiet contemplation, where the elves of Lothlorien are free to enjoy the sound of the water and the pool of and the feel of the soft breezes on their skin. Horin looks at Nona dismissively, and you can tell that despite Galadriel's words, not every elf is pleased to have a Dunlending girl within the borders of Lorien. Others can admire the fountain as well, of course. Hurriam finishes with a sniff. Ooh, snooty elves. Snooty elves. Right, okay. I've got to go to the next place now. That's going to be over here. Yay! Right, down the hill. Am I heading in the right direction? No, I'm not heading in the right direction. I'm going to get lost in Lothlorien now. Right, okay. It's got to be up there, hasn't it? There is, there's a ladder. Brilliant. Right, now I've got to find an elfie to speak to. And as they're not here, I imagine they're up here. Lothlorien. Here we go. Anglamel.
We see so few visitors to Caras Galathon.
Our hospitality isn't perhaps not what it should be. It must seem a very confusing place, with flats built on multiple levels of the Great Merlin, and the winding stairs and bridges crossing the breezy gaps. Anglamel laughs, a delicate and musical sound. You catch Nona's brief scowl at the airy tones, but Anglamel does not. I have heard it said Calas Galahon is a maze like the cities of the dwarves, but if this slander is true, at least our maze is above ground, lit by the glow of the sun and the cool glimmer of the stars. I would forgive any amount of confusion for those jewel boons. Nona looks out into the void between the flets and says nothing. Okay. Tough crowd. Tough crowd. Right, we've got to get back down, Nona. So, I hate to break it to you. We've got to go down. And the ladder. Get down. No, that's a fair distance. I'll get my horse out for that one. There we go. That is a path, and it isn't on the map. Oh, hello.
Make of Annen.
That's very frustrating. You've got paths that aren't on the map. Yep, that'll do. Seems to be going in the general location. Have I literally got a ride up here? Yeah, I have, I think. Right, here we go. And this should be the final sightseeing tour of Caras Galadhon. If I can actually get my horse. Maybe I shouldn't actually be on my horse for this. Yay. Okay, let's go and find the person I'm meant to speak to. Are they on this level? Oh yes. Luidros, I think.
The Malon trees of Lothlorien are the mightiest to be found anywhere.
The waning years of Middle-earth. It was not once so, but the passage of time and the spreading of darkness has caused much that was once great to wither and diminish. So it would be with the elves were here. Would be that the elves were here to stay already. We've stayed too long. Okay. Ludros looks sideways at Nona, but she seems not to notice. It will soon be the time of man, and who can say how that race will deal with the challenges that lie ahead? Ooh. These Melarin support the Telain Galadrim, the flets on which much of the work of our city is done. Without them, little could be accomplished. I hope the same will not be said of the elves when we have departed. Made no sense. I imagine that Nona is a little bit overwhelmed. Right, let's go down. Down, down, deeper and down. Let's get all the way down to the ground floor. We've got to go back to Galadriel. Right. There we go. Let's check the map, find out where the hell we're going. Well, that's where Galadriel is. So we need to head directly across from there then. What a pain in the butt. Oh no, what am I doing? Right. Keep going. Just keep going. I've got to remember how to get to her garden. I've been there a few times before. Can I get into the gardens of Galadriel this way? Ew. Well, we got some. Allegedly, we've got some ads coming up, but I can't be sure. Ah, Galadriel's garden. Here we are. If we remember rightly, this will give us a little bit of a glimpse into Beleriand, really, because Galadriel back in the First Age, I believe she was a handmaiden of Emelian the Maiar, but I might be mistaken there.
I hope you enjoyed your respite.
Merigrin, it brings me sadness to tell you it must be ended. Here we go. Right, we've done book 7, chapter 1. Now it's time the point of decision. All right. Oh dear. We'll read the short account as well. I might do that actually. I spoke to you once of the danger that waited our mutual friends on the road, Merigrin. Their circumstances are hidden to me. I have seen enough in my mirror to worry. Those few of the wise who know of their errand have known the simple truth since they departed. As they move further south, they move closer to the point of decision they can delay. They can delay but not avoid. They cannot leave the great river without making this decision, and they continue south and east to Mordor, or do they pass through the cities of men and thereby taking a longer road to the fire? The ring-bearer must go to Mordor, but who will choose to go with him? I fear for the company. Merigrin, peer into my mirror and see what visions for you are as troubling as they are for Galadriel. Ooh, okay. I will go and stare into your mirror. But right, lovely, lovely people. For those of you who don't know, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I have been doing a little recorded segment about the lore of J.R.R. Tolkien. It's gradually got a little bit crazy. It started off as a 7-minute segment. This one today is 22 minutes. It is like a little bit about the Breland. Now, this will be the last one I'm playing on the stream because they are getting too big, they're getting too long, and I always post them to the YouTube channel afterwards. But I'm going to go on and have a little bit of a food break now. But while I have my little bit of food, I'm going to play for you the last episode of The Lord of the Rings, which is about Breland. So I hope you enjoy it. I think it's better than a Be Right Back screen, but this will be the last one I do because it's just getting so long that it turns the stream into a bit of a movie theatre, which I know some people like, but I don't think a lot of people do. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But I am going to go for a quick cup of coffee, toilet break, grab some food, grab your popcorn, and tune in for the episode, I think it's episode 4 of The Lord of the Rings, Breland. It's 22 minutes long, and I will see you after. So stick around, and I'll see you in a bit. There is a place in Middle-earth that most people pass through without stopping to think about it. They see it briefly, a smoky common room, a busy innkeeper, a scruffy ranger in the corner, and then the story moves on and they move on with it. But if you actually stop and look at this place and ask yourself, what is this? How did it come to be here? What does it mean that it exists at all? Then you will find something remarkable, something that Tolkien built with extraordinary care, and that rewards the careful reader enormously. Today, we are talking about Breland. Not just the village of Bree itself, although we will spend a considerable amount of time there. I mean the whole region, the 4 villages, the hill, the old roads, the mixed population of men and hobbits who somehow rubbed along together for centuries, while the rest of the world largely forgot they existed. I mean Breland, one of the most quietly astonishing corners of all of Middle-earth. Let us begin with the geography because it matters enormously to understanding what Breland is and why it exists. Breland sits at the junction of 2 ancient roads. The first is the East Road, the road that runs in one direction all the way back to the distant lands of Eriador and ultimately to Rivendell and beyond. And in the other direction, it runs through the Shire towards the Grey Havens on the western coast. The second road is the Greenway, sometimes called the North Road, which once led north to the great kingdom of Arnor and south towards Gondor, Rohan, and the lands of the south. In other words, Bree sat precisely at the crossroads of the ancient world. The region itself comprised of 4 settlements. The village of Bree itself, built on and around a large hill called Bree Hill, Staddle on the far side of the hill, Coombe tucked in a valley to the east, and Archet a little further north near the Chetwood. Around these villages stretched farmlands and woodland, and the whole region was known collectively as Breland. Surrounding Bree itself was a hedge and dyke, a boundary that the Bree folk maintained with some care. It was not purely decorative. The wilder lands pressed in from all sides. The old forest lay not far off to the south and the east. The Weather Hills, the haunt of darker things, were visible on clear days to the east. The road north led to an empty, depopulated land that had once been the heartland of the Great Kingdom, but were now largely desolate. Breeland, in short, was a small island of settled, civilized life in the middle of a great deal of wilderness, and had been for such a very, very long time. Here is something that I find extraordinary, and I think that many readers of Tolkien entirely miss. Bree is old, not Shire old, not a few centuries of comfortable habitation. I mean genuinely, deeply, almost incomprehensibly old. The men of Bree were pre-Númenórean. Let me explain what that means. When the Númenóreans, the great seafaring civilization of the Second Age, the ancestors of the Dunedain, the men of Gondor and Arnor, when they came to Middle-earth and established their kingdoms, the men of Bree were already there. They were descended from a far more ancient stock, the men of the First Age, who had come into Eriador in the earliest days of recorded history. Not the ancestors of the Dunedain, but men who followed them but never entered Beleriand. They predated the entire Númenórean presence in Middle-earth. When the kingdom of Arnor was founded by Elendil in the Second Age, Bree already existed. When Arnor rose to the height of its power, Bree was there. When Arnor was broken into 3 successor kingdoms, Bree endured. When those kingdoms fell one by one to the war, to plague, to the relentless pressure of Angmar, when the last king of Arthedain was slain in battle and the Númenórean kingdoms of the north ceased to exist, Bree was still there. That is roughly 3,000 years of continuous habitation. Through the rise and fall of empires, through plague, through wars that scoured the land and left it largely empty, Bree kept going. Tolkien tells us that by the time of the War of the Ring, the men of Bree were the last remnant in the north of the old mankind of the Western world. That is a staggering thing to say about what appears to be a sleepy village with a pub. But Tolkien means it entirely seriously. These people are a living connection to an age that had otherwise entirely vanished. Now, the men of Bree are remarkable enough, but here is something that adds another layer of fascination. There were also hobbits in Breeland, not visitors, not recent arrivals, hobbits who had lived there, settled, rooted for centuries. They occupied Staddle primarily on the far side of Bree Hill, and they farmed the lighter, drier soils of the eastern slope. And they had lived alongside the men of Bree for so long that the arrangement seems to have become entirely unremarkable to both parties. This is significant, and here is why. The standard account of Hobbit origins holds that the Hobbits crossed the Brandywine and entered the Shire in the year 1601 of the Third Age, under brothers Marcho and Blanco, and that this was when the Shire was founded. But the Hobbits of Bree, the Bree Hobbits, were already settled in Bree long before the Shire was established. Their origins are distinct and in many ways more obscure. Where did they come from? Tolkien suggests they migrated the same general stock as the Shire Hobbits, wandering peoples who had drifted west over the Misty Mountains in earlier centuries. But the precise history of how they came to settle specifically in Breeland form this unusual cohabitation with a population of ancient men is left largely unexplained. What we can say is this: the Bree Hobbits were, in certain respects, rather different from their Shire cousins. They were more accustomed to the company of the big folk. They were, by necessity, more worldly. Bree was a thoroughfare, a crossroads, a place where strangers arrived regularly. A Bree Hobbit thought nothing of sitting in a common room with a prancing pony alongside a ranger, a dwarf from the Blue Mountains, or a merchant from the south. That would have caused a small scandal in Hobbiton. You cannot talk about Breland without talking about the Prancing Pony. It was, by any measure, the most important building in the region, and arguably one of the most important buildings in the entire north of Middle-earth at the time of the War of the Ring. The inn was run by Barliman Butterbur, a name that tells you everything and nothing about the man. He was stout, bald, red-faced, almost comically busy. He was, Tolkien tells us, a worthy man, but with a memory like a bad filing system. Things went in and occasionally came out, but rarely in the order that they were needed. He had been the innkeeper for many years, as his father had been before him and his grandfather before that. The Prancing Pony was not just his livelihood, it was his entire world. The inn was large by the standards of the region, built to accommodate both the stature of men and the rather shorter requirements of hobbits. It had sections with low ceilings and hobbit-height furniture. It had grand common rooms with roaring fires. It had stabling for ponies. It was, in the fullest sense, a proper traveller's inn. And in a world where the road had grown dark and dangerous and the old networks of communication had largely broken down, a proper traveller's inn was an invaluable thing. Because the Prancing Pony was crucial as a node of information, people passed through Bree from every direction. Dwarves travelling east to west, merchants from the south, rangers moving quietly through their endless patrols, the odd wandering wizard. And in the common room of an evening, over a pipe and a pint, information moved. Rumours, news, the state of the roads, and movements of dark things in distant places. Gandalf himself used it as a staging post and a message drop, which brings us to one of the most consequential failures of the entire story, one that is almost entirely Barliman Butterbur's fault. Some months before Frodo departed the Shire, Gandalf had entrusted Butterbur with a letter addressed to Frodo Baggins of Bag End, marked with considerable urgency, warning him of the danger that was coming and advising him to leave the Shire immediately. This was, in practical terms, potentially the most important piece of correspondence in Middle-earth at that moment. Butterbur forgot to send it. He meant to. He absolutely meant to. He found a traveller heading towards Hobbiton and he thought about it. And then something came up and the letter sat behind the counter. A week's passed and then months. And then Frodo walks in through the front door of the Prancing Pony. And Butterbur had one of those dreadful moments of recollection that we all recognise, but very few of us have experienced at quite such cosmic stakes. To his credit, he was genuinely distraught. And Frodo, to his credit, did not hold it against him. But had the letter arrived in time, the entire journey might have been very different. The Nazgul might not have gotten as close as they did. Gandalf's careful plan may have held together. Barliman Butterbur, innkeeper, inadvertently made the quest for the ring considerably more dangerous by being a little forgetful. When Frodo and his companions arrived at the Prancing Pony, there was a figure already in the common room, sitting alone in the shadows, cloaked and booted, watching. This was Strider, a name the Bree folk had given him, not entirely affectionately. They knew him as a ranger, one of those weather-beaten taciturn men who came and went without explanation, asked awkward questions, and inspired an uneasy mixture of wariness and a grudging reliance. And here is something crucial to understand about the relationship between the Rangers and Breland, because it illuminates an enormous amount about both. The Rangers, the Dunedain, the surviving remnant of the Númenórean kingdoms of the north, had been guarding the lands of Eriador for generations, in secret, without acknowledgement, without thanks, and without, frankly, a great deal of appreciation from the people that they were protecting. They patrolled the Weather Hills, they watched the borders of the Shire, they kept the roads as safe as roads could be kept in an increasingly dangerous world. They drove back orcs and darker things that the Bree folk and the Shire hobbits never knew existed. The Bree folk knew something about this, dimly. They knew that the Rangers were out there, and they knew they were not exactly enemies, but they did not trust them. They found them unsettling, too quiet, too watchful, too much like men with secrets, which, to be entirely fair, they were. What the Bree folk did not fully appreciate, what almost no one appreciated, because the Rangers were extraordinarily diligent about not advertising it, was without this protection, Breland would have almost certainly not have survived. The Shire would not have survived. The comfortable, peaceful, mushroom-growing, pipe-smoking, door-locking world of the hobbits of the Shire, took entirely for granted, existed in part because of a group of Dunedain wanderers chose, generation after generation, to spend their lives patrolling in the cold and the dark, telling no one about it. There is something very Tolkien about that. The idea that the preservation of everything gentle and the ordinary world depends on a quiet, unrecognized sacrifice made in secret by people the beneficiaries actively regarded with suspicion. Strider, of course, was not just any ranger. He was Aragorn, son of Arathorn, the heir of Isildur, the rightful king of Arnor and Gondor, but he had been coming to Bree for years under this assumed name. He knew Butterbur, he knew the roads, he knew the land. And on the night Frodo arrived, he was there because Gandalf had asked him to be. Even Gandalf's contingency plans had contingency plans. That night at the Prancing Pony did not end well. The Nazgul, the Ringwraiths, the Nine had traced Frodo to Bree. They could not enter the inn directly, but they had agents. Several of the Bree men had been, through fear or inducement, persuaded to cooperate with the Black Riders, to give information, to open the gates, to look the other way at the right moment. Their names are not recorded with pride in the history of the region. The Hobbit's room at the inn was attacked during the night. The beds were slashed, and had Frodo and his companions been sleeping in them, the quest would have ended there. They were not in their beds because Strider had moved them. He had been suspicious from the moment they had arrived. He had spotted the agents in the common room. He had read the warning signs in the behaviour of certain Bree folk, and he had quietly ensured his new charges slept somewhere safer. This moment, the attack on the inn, the slashed beds, the complicit locals, tells us something uncomfortable about Breeland. It was not a uniformly good place. It was a community under pressure, living in the shadow of something it didn't understand. And not everybody responded to that pressure with courage. Some people, faced with the threat of the Nazgul, chose the easier path. Tolkien does not dwell on this or moralize about it at any length. He records it and moves on. But it is there. Breeland, for all its warmth and history and prancing posy coziness, had its share of people who made the wrong choice when the stakes were real. By the time Frodo and his companions passed back through Bree on their return journey from Gondor, the place had suffered. In the chaos of the War of the Rings' wider effects, increased Orc activity, the disruptions of Saruman's agents moving through the region, the general unravelling of safety on the roads, Bree had been raided, there had been violence, people had been killed, houses had been burned, the hedges had been broken through, and the dike had been overrun. Balin Butterbur, when Frodo arrived, was subdued, shaken. The easy, flustered warmth of a man they had first met had been worn down by months of fear and grief. The inn was quieter. The roads had been dangerous. Times have been tough, he said. And in that simple phrase, Tolkien lets us feel the weight of what it means to be in a small place, caught in the edges of a very large war. But, and here is the thing, Butterbur was also defiant. He had not abandoned the inn. He had not fled. He had not strayed. He had kept the fire burning. He had kept the cellar stocked as best he could, and he had endured. And after the war, with Aragorn crowned in Gondor as King Elessar, Breeland came under the renewed protection of the restored kingdom. The Greenway, that ancient road that had been little more than a haunt for vagabonds and dark wanderers, began to see traffic again, real traffic, trade, travellers moving in safety. The crossroads that had made Bree significant in the first place reasserted itself. Tolkien tells us that Bree prospered again, that it grew, that the prancing pony flourished, and that Barnum and Butterbur, to his bewilderment and delight, found himself doing better business than he had in years. The old inn at the crossroads of the world had come through. There is something in which I find quietly moving, not the grand heroism of Minas Tirith, not the sacrificial courage of the Shire's deliverance, just a fat innkeeper with a bad memory who kept the fires lit for a dark time and came out the other side to a busier road. I want to close the body of this discussion by talking about what Bree actually means in the architecture of Tolkien's world, because I think it's doing something very specific and very deliberate. The Shire is safety. It is a world as the hobbits know it, sealed, warm, circular, complete. When Bilbo steps out his door without a pocket handkerchief, and when Frodo and Sam climb over the hedge at Crickhollow, they are leaving that sealed world behind. And Bree is the first place they arrive, the first real place, a place with a history, with complexity, with people who are not quite like them, with dangers they did not expect, with strangers who might be enemies or might be the most important ally they will ever have. Bree is the threshold. It is the moment where the comfortable world of the Shire, and by extension, the comfortable world of the reader, gives way to something larger and less predictable. It is where the story stops being a journey through familiar country and starts being an adventure in the fullest sense. And Tolkien builds it with enormous care, precisely because it needs to earn that transition. It cannot be merely menacing. It cannot be merely picturesque. It has to be real, complicated, lived in, historically layered, full of people doing their best and sometimes failing under the watch of ancient roads and older memory. Bree is the last place that feels, in some sense, like home, and it is also the first place that feels like the world. The last image we have of Breeland is a prosperous one. The roads open again, the inn full, the old crossroads doing what crossroads have always done, bringing people together from different directions and different worlds and letting them sit by the fire for a while before they go on their way. 3,000 years of that, through the fall of kingdoms, through plague and war and the long, slow emptying of the north. 4 villages on a hill and an inn with a sign of a fat pony and a landlord who forgot to post a letter but kept his fires lit regardless. Tolkien does not sentimentalize Bree. He does not make it a paradise. It has its compromised locals and its uneasy silences and its habit of regarding strangers with barely concealed suspicion. But he gives it something more lasting than sentimentality. He gives it endurance. And in a world where great kingdoms rise and fall and the works of the mighty are broken and buried under grass, endurance is, in its own quiet way, the most extraordinary achievement of all. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the Breeland, do check out the earlier episodes of the series. We've covered the Blue Wizards, Farmer Maggot, and the Bounders and the Sheriffs of the Shire. You can find them all on my YouTube channel, and the link is in my Twitch page. Next time, we will be heading somewhere altogether more fragrant and considerably more controversial. The history of pipeweed, and why a humble agricultural product managed to work its way into the hands of 2 wizards, a king, and almost every hobbit in the Shire. Until next time, Namarie. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little stroll down Breland. They're getting a little bit out of hand, so I said the Pipeweed one will be going ahead, but it will be posted directly to the YouTube channel because it's getting a little bit out of hand. Thank you very much, guys. It started off as a 7-minute spot for, like, I think I did the Blue Wizards, but I started putting it on. But our morning brew, morning Bimbler. Thank you very much. It's all going to be on. Woo! Thank you very much, Bimbler. It's all on the YouTube channel. I'm uploading them on there. But I said 22 minutes is far too long for a stream. If it carries on like this, I think I'll be doing like an hour episode and just streaming it for what it is. But thanks. I will definitely be, the Pipeweed one will be doing. I'll have it up by next Tuesday. But I think these things are getting too long. 22 minutes, Jesus, like that's crazy. But thank you guys. Thank you so much for your kind words. The cut, watching that back, it was painful. Like my video editing skills are absolutely freaking shocking. But I have DaVinci Resolve now, and I will be learning very quickly. I'll have a very quick, short learning curve. But thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's all up. I think that one's about to go live on the YouTube channel in about an hour. But there's some others on there as well. If you got any particular topics you want, let me know. If you want to ask a question, just generally, just redeem the 700 points and give me a question, and I will do my best to answer it on the spot. Yeah, Bimbler, these are all on YouTube. If you didn't know, I do stream Lord of the Rings always on a Tuesday called Tolkien Tuesdays. I started a redeem basically saying if you've got a question about Tolkien lore, redeem and I'll answer it, and that became quite popular for a while. And then a lot of people said that I should do some more lore, and I've thought about it. And then one day, about three or 4 weeks ago, Lotro crashed. My Lotro client went to rat shit. And I just while I was trying to fix it, I just basically filled in by telling stories that I knew of Tolkien and the lore of the world. And this is what happens. It started to get out of hand. It started to get a little bit crazy. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, they're all on YouTube. They're all on my YouTube account. Exactly the same. All the links are in my about and that kind of thing. But yeah, for what it's worth, if you want a really good channel for lore, check out some of the other guys, like In Deep Geek or Realms Unraveled. They do a lot of what ifs and theoretical stuff. This was just all this stuff is just a bit of fun stuff for you guys. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. Anyway, let's continue with. We got another hour of fun and games to try and get a little bit further down the road. The Fellowship of the Ring comes at last to the most dangerous decision it must make, on which the fate of Middle-earth will be decided. Frodo Baggins walks alone above Path Garland, wrestling with a difficult choice. But when one of his companions is seized by an apparent madness, the ring-bearer is put to his most difficult test so far. I want to read the quitlet. Oh, thank you very much. You're very kind. Yeah, the YouTube is basically just a dumping ground. Oh, bless you. Thank you for sticking around, Bimbler, and thank you for the sub, buddy. Thank you for the follow. I hope you can pick yourself. I hope there's some good stuff on there for you. My YouTube is a bit of a dumpster fire at the moment. I just kind of dump all my VODs on there. But thank you very much. Lovely to hear you enjoyed it. Thank you.
This is one possibility among many. It is a troubling one, to be certain.
Right, the mirror shows so many things, Merigrin, and not all of them come to pass. This is one possibility among many, and it is troubling, to be certain. They may have a need of your help. I want you to travel south along the river Anduin, Merigrin, and to see what has befallen our mutual friends. None of the visions I have seen in the waters give me any hope that they have avoided the dangers of which they walk. If you can aid them in even the smallest way, it might be enough. Nona should go with you if she still desires to do so. I have known her for just a short time, but I do not think she wishes for anything but to adventure with you. Let her be an aid to you on this dangerous road. Ooh, thanks a lot for the lurk, Bimbler. I'll see you about, buddy. Well, there we go.
You will need a guide to bring you to the Falls of Rauros.
But few of my people who ever travel that far. No, do not shake your head in frustration. There is a guide who will suffice. His name is Corodan, and he is the elder brother of Sigileth. Galadriel smiled sadly. Yes, I see you remember our fierce champion. Without her twin knives and the skill of which she wielded them, the efforts of the Golden Host might have come to naught. Her death in the Battle of the Tower is cause for grief in all who knew her. But you will find her brother is cut from similar cloth. But if Corodan shares her ability, she does not share her temperament. Find him on Telain Nedul, on the eastern side of Caras Galahon, and tell him you need him as a guide along the Anduin. He is not called Riverwalker for naught. He is more familiar with the lands through which the Anduin flows than any elf of Lothlorien. Wow. So we are going to go, we're continuing with the travel down the River Anduin. We're not going to Rohan by the path I had thought of. Very strange, but we will get there. Right, let's go. Where's me horse? He's not that far. Is he? Oh, he's not that far at all. Is he up here? He should be. I imagine he's up here. Ah. Corudam.
The lady has spoken to me about this, and I would refuse her nothing.
But there is another reason I would help you. Corudam looks at you, his eyes shining with curious look of gratitude. You were a friend to my sister Sigileth in Mirkwood when the Hidden Guard and the Golden Host journeyed in the fastness of Dol Guldur. You fought alongside Sigileth. How many times did you save her life, and she yours? I do not know, but I am certain it was more than once. I wish that the tide of fates had swept the two of you together during that final assault on the tower, rather than apart. For had the two of you been together on the stairs, perhaps you would have returned from Mirkwood. But it was not to be, and that is the way of things. I would be honoured to accompany you south along the Anduin. Sigileth's friends are mine as well, and we need supplies, boats, lembas and paddles. Speak to Bordhirst and Fengalf in acquiring such things that we will need. Borngist is on Telain Galadriel. Crikey, that is so. And Fengalf is near surrounding the hedge beneath Telain Goloreth. Oh dear, I hate these elven words. Not far from the entrance of Caras Galahon. Right, gotta go and grab me gear then. Things that I've found surprising about this game is that I did not expect to be going into Mirkwood from Lothlorien. I did not expect to be going round, like going to Mirkwood, then coming back, and then going south with the Grey Company, and then just getting to Isengard and the borders of Rohan, and then coming all the way back around again. It's almost like they're teasing me with Rohan. I actually want to have one of those Lorien. Oh no, I've gone the wrong bloody way. I'm back in Galadriel's garden. There we go. That's better. I need to go down there, don't I? I've always said this game is very, for its age, it's still very pretty. No, he's still up here. It's very pretty, but it is very confusing. Aha. You're Mrs. Unpronounceable. Faingalth.
The Lady Galadriel is wise to send Corydon as your guide.
You need a boat for navigating the Anduin. Yes, I will provide one, the paddle and paddles beside. How many will be going with you? You tell Faingalth for the composition of your party, and she nods. The Lady Galadriel is wise to send Corydon with you. He is a called River Walker, you know, and it is his name truly given. He knows the lands on either side of the Anduin better than any elf I know. His sister Sigurd perished in Dol Guldur. They were not close, she and I. We were not close, she and I, for she had a temper unlike anyone else to me, and was always sharp and stern. That is a shame what happened to her. Even so, I am certain she did great damage to her enemies before she fell, and that must be a consolation to Corydon in his grief. The boat and the paddles will be ready when the time comes for your departure. Excellent, excellent. Where the heck are we going now? We are riding up here then, aren't we? He's going to be up there, isn't he, on that flat? And I can't see where to go. There we go. I won't ride up there this time because that got really, really kind of claustrophobic very, very quickly. Who designed that? It goes from you can walk 3 abreast and then suddenly there's room enough for a hobbit to tiptoe. Okay, right. There's a board rest, or whatever his name is.
I will give you enough lembas and other foodstuffs for 2 weeks.
You are preparing for a journey down the Anduin. You have come to the correct elf Merigrin. I will supply you with enough lembas and other goods to make such a journey comfortable. Travelling by boat, you require to disembark occasionally. There is a portage way you will need to take around the rapids of Sarngibir. Do not be so foolish as to traverse them in boats. And of course you will need to beach them before you come to the falls of Rhoros. It is a long climb down the cliff face, but I have heard there was a way that was used of old. I will give you enough lembas and foodstuffs for 2 weeks. Corydon can cover that distance in 5 or 6 days. That should suffice. Namarie. Yay, we've got all the stuff. Why are all these people on different flights of stairs? These crazy elves living in the trees. I prefer a nice hobbit hole. I'm still working on my hobbit hole in this game. On Meriadoc, my hobbit hole is exactly the way I like it. I've got my little study, I've got my little bedroom, and I've done my best to try and divide the big room into a couple of little rooms. But on this one, it's not even close. I haven't even got there anywhere close to where I want it. Got a couple of curtains, you know. It looks more like a student place. And I'm suggesting that this is the way to go. Lothlorien is very tricksy. My precious. Right, where are we going? No, I need to go this way. I'll probably end up back at Galadriel's garden again. It'd be like, I couldn't find it the first time and now I can't leave her alone. imagining it's here. Did my horse climb up as well? There he is. He would be at the top, wouldn't he?
The last time I traveled south, orcs were gathering on the river bank.
You have done as I asked. Good. The most important step of the journey occurs before you even leave home. Preparations before your departure. Make sure your weapons are cleaned and ready. The last time I travelled south, which was some weeks ago, orcs were gathering on the far shore of the Anduin. We may need to face them. Unfortunately, I lent my bow to Fimloth at Haldereth on my return from that journey. Perhaps we can stop by her encampment before we depart, and I can recover my bow from her. I will use a spare until then. There is nothing quite like your own familiar weapons, is there? Sigurd spoke often of her knives, Lanchel and Igneskigel, but I feel the same way about my bow. Although it has no name, my sister was always better with names. But now you should return to the house of Kellerborn and speak with your Dunlending friend and tell her that we are almost ready to leave. A lot of running around. A lot of running around. Where is Nona? Oh, she's bloody miles away. Okay, right. So our orders are to leave Lothlorien and go down the Anduin, following the Fellowship, and try and find out what befell them, and if we can help them in any way at all. Galadriel will be very grateful. So I'm imagining, now this is just me guessing, and if I don't care about spoiler alerts, but I've been saying for ages, I thought I was going to travel further south into Dunland, and then obviously when I got to Rohan, which I did, I crossed the borders of across the Isen. I thought that I would be heading into, where the hell am I going? I thought I would be heading into, what's it called? I've completely ballsed this up, haven't I? And lost my train of thought as well. Not a good look. It's not a good look. So anyway, I thought I would be following the path south, and I would end up coming to Rohan via the Westfold. But no, it looks as if I am literally following the Fellowship. Right, Covenant, where is she? I am completely lost now. Ah, right. The strange, weird road of tree roots. Okay. Right. Hopefully she'll be up here and then we can get on our way. Parched elf. Come on, third time's a charm. There we go. Hello, Nona. What is going on?
Your sword is thirsty for more adventure.
I followed you here on the behest of a dream, Merigrin. I will follow you wherever our road leads. If our adventure ended today, I would already have quite a tale to tell Sulvich on my return. I cannot imagine what awaits us, but it will only add to the record of our deeds. Wadu Sword is thirsty for more adventures as well, and if we come across even more Dunlendings or their fell ally as we did in the swamps, I will be more than ready than I was last time. Fair enough.
This land of elves is a long way from Enidwaith. A long way from my people.
Indeed. I am grateful for the healing arts of Galadriel and her people, and for the lady's willingness for me to see her city. But there is something strange about this place. I must tell you the truth. This is no place for me. I want my feet upon the ground and my foes in front of me. This land of elves is a long way from Enidwaith and a long way from my people. I am ready to depart, Merigrin. Perhaps things will feel more familiar to me as we journey south along the river. It's quite interesting when you think about this, because she is a Dunlending. Now, we know very little from Dunlendings in Tolkien's writing. We know that they're tribal. We know that they're kind of like clans. You know, they're obviously foes of the Rohirrim, well, generally. But we're now getting to know one up close and personal. Her tribe haven't sided with Saruman. She has a personal vendetta against Saruman. She wields a Rohirrim sword, which we still don't know, and it's clearly magical. We clearly don't know where she got it from or what destiny that is going to have. And now she's kind of adventuring with us, which is quite strange. She looks like they've kind of gone with the style of Highlands clansman. Kind of, she's got like a half kilt kind of going on the face paint. But yeah, she's, you know, you get to know these people. There's chance they're going to teleport. Right. Teleport immediately to Haldreth, so we're back. Yay! We're back here. And here is Kurudan.
I lent my favorite bow to Fimlath.
Oh dear
Now
God.
she has lost it.
She has lost your bow. Kurudan lowers his voice and turns to his apologetic friend. No, Fimlath, I'm not upset. If those orcs are as numerous as you report, you were right to flee. A bow is a bow, and the lives of my friends come first. I will search the woods of Flinglad for the orc that picks it up as you escaped. Are you of a mind to join the hunt, Merigrin? Your Dunlending friend has already agreed to fight the orcs with me as well. Perhaps we can make a game of it. The first of us to find my lost bow will be the victor, but I shall be the happiest of all to have my bow back in my hands. Let's go kick ass. Right, let's go. If I remember, there I had some quests here before, didn't I? I want more orcs. Right, let's search for these bad boys. Nothing to track. Well, I'll just head south then, because I know there's orcs coming down to the banks of the river. Oh, that's a buck. That is not a orc. No, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. I've got to head. Keep heading south. There be orcs in the woods. Keep your eyes peeled. There we go. Unleash. And there we go. We got orcs for days. Orcs for days. I'll have a backpack as well, thank you very much. There you go, that's that one done. I've got this distinct feeling that they're softening me up. They're kind of like getting me, you know, obviously we've had all that quest with the Nazgul. We've been running around doing stuff like that. And the first quest back once I've left Lothlorien is, yeah, go and kill 6 orcs, you know. Yeah, just 6 orcs, nothing special. Any orcs. Doesn't matter. Any orcs at all? Right, have you got your bow back
Did
yet?
not find the bow. Nona and I did not either.
The orc that seized it must have already left this area. Pity this spare bow does not fire as accurately as my other one did. I am still a deadly shot, Merrigan. Do not worry on that score. Did you know how dangerous Nona is in combat? I did not think the Dunlendings were more than a barbaric hill-dwelling men, but she is a deadly warrior indeed. I underestimated her, and will not do so again. If we are surprised by orcs as we journey further south along the Anduin, I will be glad to have her along.
Whatever orc took the bow must have fled the area.
Did you not find Corridon's bow? We did not either. He seemed surprised, but I was not. Whatever orc took the bow must have known an elf would come looking for it and fled the area. This orc is lucky it did, for its hunters numbered 3. Hobbit, Ichluth and elf. Fly alone could have saved it. I am sorry Corridon does not have his favourite bow, but I still enjoyed the hunt. Do you think you can humour me on this one count, Merrigan? I understand we must hurry, but this should not take too long, so I've got another side quest.
Take a detour to Stongard, so I can thank Horn.
Right, okay. When we were last in this region, I was wounded in the swamp, and you brought me to the nearby outpost of the Horse Lords. And I was a wounded enemy to everyone there, save one, the Rohirrim man called Horn. He spoke on my behalf, and when you suggested that I be taken to the Elfwoods for healing, you interrupt Nona at this point and tell her that it was actually Horn's idea, and a confused look crosses her face. Really? Well, that is one more thing that I should thank him for. And that is what I want, Merrigan, a brief detour to the outpost of Stangard so I can give him my thanks. Perhaps you can be there to meet him. You can have him meet me here. I do not think he would be welcomed once again to everybody. Yeah, okay, we got the idea. He hates you. A stop in Stangard, right. I'm gonna see if I can go straight there.
How can I be of service?
Yeah, I can go Stangard. That will shave a few minutes off. Be able to get a little bit more done, a little bit further down the Anduin. I don't think I'll be getting in any boats soon. Maybe next stream. Right, let's speak to Alfric.
You were looking for Horn. Good. Take him with you.
Oh dear. Oh, it's you, still travelling with unsavoury types, are you? Alfric looks you up and down, and the disgust in his face is clear. You are looking for Horn. Good, take him with you. Take him and be gone. You will find him up the hill. Oh, was he pissed off people because he didn't want her to die? Bit harsh. What time is it? It's the late watches. Ooh. Yeah, he lives in this house, doesn't he? And look at that! Look at that! I've said it before. That milestone is the most, like, unbelievable. Most of the milestones are just small little braziers, and that is like a really carved kind of like looks resemblant of a totem pole. Right. Anyway, let's crack on.
How is the Dunlending girl? Did she survive?
You tell Horn that the healing arts of Galadriel were sufficient, and that Nona has come to Thingad and wishes to thank him in person for his kind words. Oh, I see, I am glad. Horn seems conflicted about something when you ask him if everything is alright, and he sighs heavily. It seems there is no place for me anymore, Merrigan. I am no longer welcome in Stangard. My fellows feel that I have been somehow tainted by stepping foot within the Elfwoods and speaking on behalf of Dunlending. Well, they no longer trust me. They want me to leave by sunrise tomorrow. You ask if there is anything you can do to help. Well, I do not have many possessions. If you bring me my harp and my writing supplies, I'll be ready to go. My harp is in the tavern, and my writing supplies are in Wadda's house, where I've been staying. Okay, where is the ale house? That's Stamrik's house. That's the mead hall, so I'm assuming that that is... No, maybe not them. I would say that a mead hall is a pub, but what do I know? I'm just a hobbit. Right, it's going to Wadder's house. Horn's writing supplies. That's all about there. Bloody hell. They've started to get a little bit adventurous here, haven't they? Look, most of the houses you can actually go into. Oop. That's the tavern. So they don't go drinking in the mead hall. Must be for special occasions. Bard of Rohan. It's not a bad little place, is it? Big fire pit. No chimney though. Big mistake. Look, no chimney. It's outrageous. Anna, how you doing? Yeah, it's not bad actually. We've finished. I only wanted to finish book 6, chapter 11, but we're cracking on. We're up to chapter 5. We are about to take our own little boat on the Anduin, allegedly. I don't know whether we will actually do that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool so far. I'm just running around doing loads of errands at the moment. I'm doing lots of errands for people who are too lazy to do anything. Oh, no worries. Yeah, you know, I totally understand. I totally and utterly understand. Sometimes, I mean, I feel really bad when I'm not streaming and I'm like, say I'm in the lounge and there's not a lot going on. People are watching game shows and it's something I don't really want to watch or something like that. And I just flip on Twitch and I'll see someone who I know streaming. I go, oh, yeah, I'll go and have a look. And you want to get involved, but obviously you can't because you're trying to concentrate on what's going on in the room. So I feel bad about lurking, but you shouldn't really. We shouldn't be. We should just be happy we're there. Got it. It's like I think of it like a radio. Have it on in the background. Hopefully I won't send your customers to sleep. But yeah, anyway.
I am not welcome in Stangard, but where can I go?
Thank you for bringing these to me. I am not welcome in Stangard, but where else can I go? By order of Theoden King, I am not to return to Rohan until my term of service in Stangard is finished. Horn looks uncomfortable. Where are you travelling, Merigrin? Could you use another companion on the road? I do not wish to intrude. Ooh, but I believe my place is with you and the lending girl, with whom I gave up. Well, it was no life I gave up. I only did what was right, though my fellows failed to see it. You tell Horn that he is welcome to travel with you as far as he will. Thank you, Merrigan. I owe a great deal for this. An aimless life would ill suit me. Your goals are now mine, and the dangers you face will be mine as well. We've got a real ragtag bunch of it's like a little fellowship, isn't it? It's just a really weird, dysfunctional fellowship. Yeah, doing some framing of paintings and preparing for Easter. Oh, cool. Picture framing is, when done professionally, is really awesome. I got some old gig posters that I ended up having framed, and I'm really pleased I did. However, now because I've got so many bookcases, I now lack the space to actually hang them up. But they look so cool. I've got like I've got a Lemonheads, the band of Lemonheads. I've got It's a Shame. No, is it A Shame About Ray, or is it? I can't remember. No, I tell you, it's Come On and Feel the Lemonheads, and I've got that framed professionally, signed copy, with its certificate in it. And then I've got an Elliott Smith poster of him playing Camden Dingwall in 1998. And I've got a few other posters that I know, and a few historical copies of historical documents that I've framed. But they look so cool when they're professionally framed. They look very sexy. Right, okay. Where have we got to get back to? We've got to get back to Howldrift. This is ridiculous. Thinglad, so we need to go to
friend.
There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm not the best, but I'm working on it. You're a million times better than I would be, and you really are working at an art gallery. Oh, cool. See, when I lived in central London, talking a good few years ago now, I used to go to the art galleries, but I started going there because whenever, if you didn't know that, when art galleries have a special function in the evening, they usually have free drinks. So I'd go for a bit of culture and a few free glasses of wine before I went out and met my friends. I seem very cultured. I'm going to all this art gallery and it's just basically for free booze. But there was some really good art there.
This confirms what I suspected about the Horse Lords. Cruel even to their own.
Yep, you told Nona that Horn has been cast out of Stangard and he's no longer welcome there. This confirms all I ever suspected about the Horse Lords, Merigrin. They are cruel even to their own and they are not deserving of our sympathies. I will speak with Horn, thank him for his words on my behalf and give him my sorrow that he has suffered for me. But I will also tell him that he is now better off and he should shed no tears for his lost fellows. Ooh. I will be ready to leave when Corridon says we should leave. Speak to him when you are ready to go. I haven't got... I need to sell some stuff because my... I lost my VIP provisions a while ago now. Let's chuck all this stuff out. Can't be bothered with all this. Scraps of weathered text. Right, I'll get rid of all this crud. Don't need that either. Right, let's go. This should be quite interesting. This should be quite interesting. We should, I don't know, I don't think they're going to let us go in the boats. I don't think the game will let us go in the boats. I'd love that though. Our band of companions grows. A Dunlending girl, a Rohirrim man, an elf and a halfling. This sounds like a joke, does it not? An elf, a Dunlending, a Rohirrim and a hobbit walk into a pub.
We will still fit.
And the barman says, "Would you guys get a group discount?"
Be comfortable.
We can still fit in one boat. That's good. But we will not be comfortable. I do not think we should recruit any more companions, Merigrin, unless you fancy swimming alongside the boat. Are you ready to continue our journey? Yes, I am ready to continue our journey.
Let us go to the boat together.
I want to have a good seat and a comfortable place to rest my arm as we paddle.
I have journeyed on the great river often, and know its swirls and eddies like no other elf.
Well, there you go. We're on the banks of the Anduin.
My own shadow.
We're on the banks of the Anduin.
We must stop here for the night.
Oh, my Twitch alerts are being a dick again. Thought I'd redeem a Rocky just for a giggle.
Kenneth! Dr. Scott! Janet! Ah, Rucker!
This is far enough for today, Maragren. Horn has already seen to the fire, and now we may sup and take some rest before the night watches begin. We will leave in the morning at first light. It is not good to travel further south on the Anduin at night unless the need is considerable. The waters become treacherous as you get nearer you get to Sarngebir. And if you remember the old what's it called, the companions, the Fellowship of the Ring had problems. Right, I've got to speak to my weird companions. We are fortunate to have friends among the elves, Maragren. I would not want to make this journey without a guide, and Cúradan appears to know what he is doing. But it is not seemly for a man of Rohan to mingle with elves, as you saw in Stangard. Of his kind my people have little to say, but this, long-lived and dangerous. They have more to say of the folk of Dunland, but none of it kind, and I will not disturb the girl's ears with any of it. I regret illness known as ill welcome at Stangard when she had need of aid. Though I understand its root, her people and mine have been at a long and unhappy history. I have no quarrel with her personally, but our shared friends and duties make us allies, and nothing more than that. Ooh, get you. Get you. The Elf Queen was right to send a guide with us, Maragren. He knows the waters and how to keep the boat afloat, which is more than the daughter of the Solvich knows. Were it up to me, I would lead us south on dry land with springy turf underfoot and no fear of foundering. Nona lowers her voice, a rare event for a Dunlending woman. The boat is not large enough to keep us from speaking, Maragren. Sorry, I'll read that again. The boat is not large enough to keep us from speaking, Maragren, but as you saw, the Horselord managed to avoid addressing me in any way once we were on the river. If he has a grievance with me, tell him to air it so I may respond appropriately with words or Wadu's sword. I have become tired of his ability to look all around him but not in my direction, whatever direction it happens to be. Okay, now I'm talking to everybody. What is this? We have some time before we should begin the night watches, Maragren. Would you find some tale-telling agreeable? I find the weaving of a good story among companions around the fire can be a pleasant way to pass the time. Have a seat, Maragren, and I will begin, and perhaps our companions will have a tale to share as well. I grew up in the Golden Wood and spent most of my time exploring the wilderness. My sister Celieth stayed in Lothlorien for many long years, but not in idleness. Oh, we're getting a bit of a flashback. My skill was with the bow, but hers was with knives. She made them herself, and each was deadlier than the last. I returned from a journey once convinced I had become the greatest of archers. Is that so? I'll wager you cannot hit this wooden target from 50 paces. I accepted and strode 50 paces, and when I turned to fire, I saw that my sister was right. She had hewn the target at its base, and it had fallen into the grass. We laughed and laughed. That is my tale. Do you have one to share, Maragren? Oh dear. I will not speak of the Nazgul. All these things were too. These were all too dark. I will speak of Angmar. Too dark. We don't want to talk. Remember, Aragorn said to the hobbits, "Don't mention Mordor. Don't mention dark things. These are all too dark." He just told a light story. I will speak of Angmar. No. I will speak of Dol Guldur. Well, his sister died at Dol Guldur, so I think that's a tad insensitive. I will speak of the Falls of Isen. Bit insensitive considering the son of the king died there, but that's probably the lightest one. I will speak of seeking the Nazgul. No, we don't speak of the Nazgul on a quiet night by the banks of the I have no story to share. What do you reckon? If only it had like an option there that I could like say that I could repeat the lay of Beren or or Gilgalad or something like that. What do you reckon? I don't know. Seeking the Nazgul. Are you sure? I know. I'll go with you, even though I don't like talking about Nazgul when it's getting dark. Very well, if you have the heart to tell it. Such creatures are possessed by incredible evil, and it is not always best to speak of such things. You speak of your time in Rushgore with Nona, and you speak to of the Galadriel. Okay, fair enough. Now my story has come to an end. I shall go next. My tale concerns King Fengor of Rohan, the grandfather of Theoden King. It's a sad tale, given the happenings of late, but you may find it interesting. What is going on here? Oh, it's King Fingol. King Fingol came to the throne, though long his rule, it was ill-starred. He was prone to greed, which made many enemies. In the last winter of his reign, he was hunting north of the Entwade on a cold afternoon. An elderly woman stumbled into his camp. She was lost and hungry. A scrap of bread, if you please, my mighty lord. I am lost and cold and hungry. Who are you, crone, to beg from the crown? If you seek warm food in your belly, find some churl whose bed lies unwarmed. Ooh! Or find some game and kill it yourself. King Fengil threw his own dagger at her feet and sent her away into the dark night. This is the kindness of the horse lords, is it? Oh, come on, let him finish. Horn did say that Fengil was a foolish king. He did say that, and I say he spoke true, but this does not seem uncommon trait among the horse lords. King's men were horrified, and they searched for the woman. They found her at dawn, frozen to death at the foot of a tall boulder, the king's dagger still in her hand. She had carved a curse into the face of the stone, along with her name, Wirgende. Oh, it's getting a bit spooky. We're getting some ghost stories here, aren't we? And this is what she carved into the stone. Feckless Fengel, fall I name thee, grief shall be the get of thy greed. No lord of your line shall long live, upon thy seat no son shall settle. Kin and kingdom your craving hath killed, until the might of the mark is mended. Willengende. Horn sighs heavily and continues. King Fengel was furious, and he ordered Wirgende's body burned and the stone destroyed, but no man of his company could move her, and every hammer and mattock they set to the stone shattered on contact. Fengel himself assailed the stone, but he sawed until the blade shattered and the shard pierced his thigh. The wound festered, and King Fengel died of poisoned blood on the first spring day. Many in Rohan thought it was the curse had ended, but now that Prince Theodred is gone... Well, this is a merry tale telling, isn't it? You're going to... I do not have the flowery words or the turns of phrase that Corridon and this man, Horn, have, Merigrim, but I will write my tale in the hide of my enemies. Okay, yeah, easy there, Tiger. I have no story to tell. Everyone has a story, Nona. What is the origin of the sword you bear? The horse motif, it is not of your people. This sword came to my brother Wadu. He used it to slay a great beast, which he did at the in Moria. What was it, a beast? Some kind of large animal? A bear? It was a great Guiba, a mighty dragon spawn of the mountains. There he is. It can't. Can it be? I know of no such creature. There is much in my land that your people do not know about. That may be so, Nona. I am sorry if I have offended you. They're gradually warming to each other. Your brother must have been a great man to defeat such a foe. He was. Right, here we go. I think that is enough tale-telling for one night, Merigrin, and I will take the first watch, and I will wake you when it is your turn, and we will set out at first light. Well, there you go. We'll leave at first light for now, but you should get some rest. In the morning, we'll continue our journey down the Anduin.
Behold, the Argonath, the pillars of the kings.
Indeed. They are Isildur and Anarthian, Aragorn's fathers of old. Oh look, we've met Framric. Where is the Argonath? Can we see it from here? Oh, there it is. Yeah, look. Oh, look. Mordor Orc. Wait, we're camping near here, dude. And I want to get a good screenshot. I'll turn around, Merigrin, you donkey. There we go. How about that? That's the one. That's the one. Right, we'll take that off. Awesome. That's brilliant. That's a great little screenshot, that is. Right, I've got to go back down to my my colleagues.
They are not my kings, but there is still something majestic about the twin statues.
Of the Argonath. Many songs have been sung about the men in whose likenesses they were carved, and I know most of them by heart. I will not sing them now. There is too much we must do here.
Friends of yours came this way. Friends bearing a burden of some malice.
Horn speaks quietly, for what he has to say is meant for your ears alone. We spoke of great many things on the boat, and I do not begrudge you for speaking in generalities, but you told me enough to know your errand was important. Friends of yours came this way, friends bearing a burden of some malice. Whatever they carried, it was sought by orcs, and perhaps others as well. We need to find what happened to these friends of yours, and if their burden has been lost. Horn raises his voice to include the Rohirrim man standing nearby. This man saw our boat drifting downriver and hailed me from the shore. His name is Framric, and he has come with a party of Rohirrim from the Wold. I would have us help his people if they deserve our help. Okay. But first we must prepare our own camp. Speak with Nona and Corridon for their thoughts, and then collect some sticks for a fire, and I will do the same. Ooh, okay. I'll speak to you momentarily, Framwick.
I do not trust this Framric, but Horn wants us to help him.
I do not like the way he looks at me from out the corners of his eyes. If he is not careful, I'll teach him the way of my people with Wadu's sword. She is just a little firecracker, isn't she? But Horn wants us to help him. I do not understand this loyalty to the Horse Lords. They cast him out, and he should hate them for that. Okay. I will not impose my beliefs upon him, but I do not understand this. Okay, let's go and speak to the most sensible person in the party.
The Lady Galadriel entrusted me with knowledge of our true mission.
You spoke in general terms on the boat to Horn and Nona, but I know why we are really here, Merigrin. The Lady Galadriel entrusted me with knowledge of our true mission, and I will not betray that trust. While we are here at the East Wall, I think it fine for us to help Framric's people. It is clearly that Horn desires, but we must also keep alert for signs of our mutual friends. They came to this land, that we know. What happened to them then? That is a mystery. and it is one that we must find the answer to and help them if we can. But first, Horn is right, we need to gather sticks for a campfire, or we will have a cold night. Right, I've got to go and collect some sticks. And kill some orcs. Collect some sticks and kill some orcs, and there's a plenty of orcs around here. There are many of them. Many, many, many. There we go. Hopefully this one will work.
We travel light. Let us hunt some orc.
And ironically, that was actually filmed not too far from the location I'm in game. At the sundering of the Fellowship, or the breaking of the Fellowship, should I say. Let's take these suckers. Oh, an Uruk. Right, have I've got some more sticks to get. Oh, literally, it is just in this tiny little area. Oh, fallen sticks. Excellent. There we go. That's what we need. Excellent. That's it. I think this is the last one. There we go. Before I go back to the others, I will show you here. There we go. The Argonath. And it says that it was, I mean, it was built obviously to mark the border, the old border of Gondor, but also as a warning of the falls of Rauros and that you're approaching them. Right, let's go. Go. Where's my gang? There's the gang.
You found some. Good. Now remove the supplies from the boat.
What am I? Okay, so I've got to select, choose one of these. Bacon. You got no lembas. No lembas. Right, there we go. Let's speak to Corridon and see what he says.
Parthgalen may be a good place to begin our search.
I think it is good to help Framric while we can, but always keep your eyes open for the real reason we're here. As you pass southward through the woods of the east wall, remain alert for a grassy lawn alongside Anduin. That is a peaceful space called Parthgalen, and it may be a good place to begin our search. Ooh, you're absolutely right, of course. And we will be continuing our search at Parthgalen next Tuesday, when we do another Tolkien Tuesday, and we'll be continuing our journey down the Anduin. But unfortunately, we've run out of time for today. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. I really do. Thank you all so much for sticking around and having a bit of banter and enjoying the journey that we've been on today. We've covered quite a few miles today, haven't we? But yeah, we're a little bit further on the kind of on the path. I don't know how we're going to get to Rohan, but we're going to get there. Thank you, Bimbler. You take care, buddy. We're going to go and raid someone fun. I think Goshil's playing Lord of the Rings. I'd like to keep you. I'd like to keep you in the same kind of stall, which is unusual because usually he plays. Yeah. What we got? Beverage. Yeah, I don't know what we got. I haven't raided either of them for a very long time. But yeah, no worries. We'll go and raid. Goshil. He's only been up for an hour. I think beverage is about to end. But yeah, until next time. I said we got Thursday. We'll be playing Watch Dogs 2. Tomorrow I'll probably be having a little bit of a multiplayer game with Ganterin. We're just going to play some Peak for a couple of hours and have a bit of a catch up because I haven't spoken to him for ages. But yeah, we're going to be playing that. But Thursday Watch Dogs 2, and then back on for Tolkien Tuesdays next week, where we continue our adventure towards Path Garland, which is going to be amazing. So until next time, look out for yourselves, look out for each other, and remember that you are very much appreciated. Thank you very much, and I will see you all soon. Look after yourselves and take care. Bye.